How did the trash take itself out of my life? I remember when I was dating someone for weeks. We were lying in my bedroom and cuddling like any normal couple. Then he started brushing my hair. For a normal girl, this would be fine and lovely, but for me, it wasn't because I wasn't a normal girl, and you'll soon know why. I was hoping that he wouldn't brush my hair too hard, but since you're hearing my story right now, it means my prayers weren't answered. I knew the situation was messed up the moment he took his hand off my head, and there was some hair on it. His eyes went wide, and he looked traumatized. It felt like he wanted to run away from me at that moment. I felt so scared and quickly ran to the bathroom, closed the door, and looked in the mirror. A big part of my hair was missing. There was a large bald spot on top of my head, so visible you couldn't deny it. My hair and face were so messed up, and I just stood there staring at the mirror, overthinking. I couldn't believe how I got into a situation like this. My crush, the guy I had ever wanted, had just rubbed off a big part of my hair and discovered that I was bald. I threw the hair in the trash bin and cleaned myself up real quick. Then I went back to that guy. He was still traumatized, looking like he wasn't ready for something like that. I asked him if I could sit, and he didn't say anything. I sat down for a moment, feeling so ashamed. I gathered myself and held his hand for a second, and just as I was about to speak, he opened his mouth and said, "So this is it? You were a dude?" My eyes got teary, but I held it in. I didn't want to cry at that moment. Then he started shouting, "Oh God, how could this possibly get worse than this?" At that point, I couldn't hold it in anymore, and I started crying my eyes out. I couldn't say much. I just felt so heavy. The only thing that came out of my mouth was, "Sorry, but I have cancer." He looked so disappointed at that moment. He gave me a light hug and said, "I'm sorry, but I can't keep seeing you. I can't keep seeing this." That moment shattered my heart into pieces. He left without saying anything else. But to be honest, sometimes life is more than fair. Years later, I beat cancer, got my hair back, and even regained my beauty. And guess what? He had the audacity to text me after all that, saying he was sorry and that he wanted to take me on a date. It was the most heartwarming rejection I have ever given to a guy.